everybody, welcome back to My Mom's Recipe Box. Today we have a very special episode for you because it's Christmas time. And today is our neighborhood's first, hopefully first annual cookie walk, where a bunch of neighbors are getting together and everybody's going to make cookies, and then we are going to trade cookies with everybody on the walk. And when we get home tonight, the cameraman and I are going to have 48 cookies to try. So this is nice and roomy. So anyway, it's almost Christmas time. It's actually still Hanukkah. So I'm going to be making a Hanukkah cookie today. I'm going to be making 3 different kinds of cookies. So we're going to be making Oreo peppermint balls. We're going to be making sugar cookies called smashed sugar cookies, not because you're going to get smashed if you eat them, but because instead of having to cut them out and make, designs, which I hate, they're an easy, just smash them, put them in the oven, decorate them with sugar, and go. So before we get started, you guys, I have a little bit of a public service announcement. This is our holiday card from All Shepherd Rescue. You can see it. It's at allshepherdrescue.com. This is the rescue that Mark and I have been working with ever since it started in 2010. I believe that was when we got our first dog. And this rescue works very hard to get dogs rehomed, rehabilitated, ready for their forever homes. It's a wonderful organization, and I urge you, if there's a dog rescue or animal rescue or dog shelter, cat shelter in your area, please consider making a donation this time of year. You can really use the money. This is a slow time of year for events. With COVID, we haven't been able to do the fundraising that we normally do. This is Ruby. She's from Forever Changed Animal Rescue, and they can also use your help getting these nut jobs adopted. And speaking of adoption, you guys, please do not give a puppy or a kitten to anyone for Christmas as a surprise, please. These are the dogs that come back to the shelter in January. These are the dogs who are confused and upset because they don't know what they did wrong, but their families don't want them. So do us all a favor. Do not buy puppies or kittens for Christmas. Spay and neuter your dogs. I sound like Bob Barker, but there you go. And now we're going to get started on our cookies, okay? So cameraman, come on over here. And I have my Vitamix out because we're going to use this for our first cookie. And what you need for the Oreo cookie balls are, Oreos. So what I have here are 36 Oreos. Now these are the Oreo thins. You can use whatever kind of Oreo you want. Don't get me started on all the different kinds. You don't want to go there, okay? So we're going to take our Oreos. We're going to drop them into our Vitamix. Okay, like so. And then what I have here is about a dozen of these little candy canes. Okay, aren't they cute? The recipe doesn't call for quite this many candy canes, but I like to chop these up because this time of year it's fun to have crushed candy canes. You can sprinkle them over a brownie. You can sprinkle them over top of a cookie. You can sprinkle them on your pancakes. You can put them in your kids' oatmeal. They're just a fun thing to have this time of year. You can take a peppermint stick like this and drop it into a mug of tea. Delightful. Okay, so we're going to take these. I'm going to put them in too, okay? And then we are going to put on the lid and cover your ears. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and let the cameraman take a little break. We're going to whiz these up until they're all crushed, okay? So come right back. Hi guys, welcome back. So here are our crushed up Oreos and candy canes. Put these in the Vitamix. Some of it's very fun, some of it's not. I think there's actually a whole cookie in there somewhere. Anyway, it's kind of a pain to put it in the Vitamix, and I apologize that I did not test that out before I started filming, but it did work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the mixing in my KitchenAid. Okay, so I'm going to put my crumbs in here, and there's the cookie. I'm just going to pull that out. And then we're going to take a package of cream cheese. And this is a 4-ounce package of cream cheese, and we're going to put the whole package into our crumbled cookie and candy cane mixture. Okay, let's get that in there. Okay, so put our paddle on, and we're just going to get this mixed up. Hi guys, welcome back. So we have made our Oreos, cream cheese, and peppermint candy cane pieces are all mixed up in here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be shaping them into balls, putting them in these little papers that I have here in my little mini cupcake tin. And then we're going to put them in the freezer for about an hour for them to firm up. And then while they're in the freezer, I'm going to be starting on the next batch of cookies. So the holidays can be a little stressful sometimes. And, you know, it's not for seeing how busy and overtaxed you can make yourself from now until Christmas. Not the whole idea at all. So anyway, these are pretty simple, all right? So don't worry about them. You know, you don't have to bake them. They don't have to look perfect. You know, none of that stuff. So anyway, I'm rolling them into a ball about an inch. It's not a runny batter, so that was not a disaster. And I'm going to just put them in these little papers, okay? I'm going to try and come up with 24 of them. Now you can... Hi everybody, welcome back. We are ready to start on cookie number 2 of our Cookie Walk cookie special. Before we get started, I just wanted to show off my beautiful tie-dye apron. It's a gift from my best friend Laurel. So I'm not going to get flour all over my beautiful sweatshirt, which was also a gift from my best friend Laurel. So let's get started on our cookies. Okay guys, welcome back. So now we're going to put our batter together, and we're going to start with our 3 sticks of butter. This is salted butter. You can use unsalted if you want. Salted butter keeps longer, and I'm not so much of a control freak that I need to control every little bit of butter that goes in every little bit of salt that goes in my recipes. So I buy salted butter, but if you want to buy unsalted, that's good. Most recipes you find will call for unsalted butter, okay? And the next thing we're going to add is 2 cups of granulated sugar. This is golden sugar, so it's a little bit less processed than regular sugar, but, you know, use whatever sugar you like. If you're going to use a Splenda baking mix, remember you use half of what the recipe calls for. So this recipe calls for 2 cups. Use 1 cup if you're using a stevia blend. Okay, guys? Now we're going to put the paddle on, and we're going to cream the butter and the sugar together until they're kind of light and fluffy. Now this takes some time, guys, okay? So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to let it go for a few minutes, okay? So I'll show you what it looks like after about 5 minutes, okay? Hi guys, okay, so this has been beating for about 5 minutes, and as you can see, it's well incorporated. It's kind of thick, okay? But it's all together. So we're just gonna take that off a little bit. What we're gonna add in now are our 4 eggs. Here they are, beaten into a dish first because you know why. So let's throw in 1, 2, put this down, put it on low, 3 and 4. And then we're going to add a couple of teaspoons, but you know, in my case, I don't measure. And do we love this stuff? Vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. It's actually more like tablespoons, guys, but if you like it, use it. So now we're going to beat this on sort of low to medium until it's just all together, okay? And you're going to want to take a minute to scrape down your bowl. You know, make sure you don't have this big lump of butter and sugar right here. And poke that through. And an update on the cameraman. I think he's feeling a little bit better, and he just took Ruby out for a walk. That's why it's so strangely quiet in here. Okay, and then we're just going to beat this until it all comes together. All right. The flour is going to take care of those lumps. And you can see it's a little bit separated, but like I said, it's nothing to worry about, guys. Nothing. Okay, so now it's time for us to add the flour. So now I don't want to be beating this batter endlessly, okay? Just went over to get my shield. Because I'm adding the flour now, and I don't want to beat it too much, okay? I want to mix it until it's basically, you know, combined, all right? So here's our flour. This is 5 cups of flour, a pinch of salt, and a half a teaspoon of baking powder, okay? I'm going to take this spoon and give this another little, we whisk this together. I give it another little whisk because I didn't have enough flour on the countertop, so now I do. I'm going to turn this on low, and I'm going to start feeding the flour mixture into this batter, okay? Just like this. Okay, so you can see it's pretty nice and thick. Made a nice batter. There's no more lumps, and there's no more separating. I'm going to turn this off. Pop this up, scrape down the sides with yet another spatula. Okay, and push that down. Whoops, not like that, guys. And, oh my God. Okay, it's a thick batter. It's not really a batter, it's a dough, okay? It's cookie dough. All right, guys. Okay, so now this is ready for step number whatever. Step number 2. First, we make the dough, and then we're going to shape it into our cookies. Okay? Okay, guys, now it's time to make the dough balls for the cookies. So our cookie dough is very stiff. Okay, so I'm going to be using my cookie scoop to make the cookies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a cookie ball, and I'm going to roll it around in this beautiful blue sugar. Okay, it's glittery. It's like ground up sapphires, only much safer to eat. Okay, so I'm going to pull you down here so you can see what I'm doing, and let's get started on making these beautiful cookie balls. Okay, so here we have our cookie dough, and here we have our sugar, and here we have our cookie scoop. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take a cookie ball, and this is going to be so much fun. The cookie ball scoop is going away. Yeah. And you can just roll this up in your hands, okay? Just roll it up in your hands like this. Drop it in the sugar. Roll it around. And then I'm going to put it on this parchment paper lined baking sheet, okay? And you can press it down a little bit so they don't roll around. Okay, so we're still working on the cookies, but I wanted to give you a few little tips that I've learned from doing this. And the first one is a spoon works just fine. Doesn't have to be a cookie ball, you know, a cookie scoop. But you don't want to keep putting your hands that have blue sugar in them into the dough, because the dough was getting to be kind of blue. Okay, and I only want the blue to be on the outside. So what I'm doing now is I take the dough and I scoop it into my left hand. I roll it up, And then I only put my right hand into the sugar, into the blue sugar, okay? And then just roll it around, put it on the cookie sheet. Now on the cookie sheet, I'm putting the cookie balls really close together. You would not want to do that if you were just going to take this sheet and put it right into the oven. But I'm going to put these into the refrigerator, and they're going to firm up a little bit in the refrigerator for about an hour. And that's why, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking she forgot to preheat the oven again, but I didn't. I don't need to preheat the oven yet. Okay, so we're doing okay, guys, with the oven. It doesn't need to be preheated. So I'm going to keep working on these. I'm trying to keep them of fairly uniform size because it helps with the baking. If you're anything like me and you're doing like batches of cookies, or batches of anything really, I tend to start small, and then the more I make, the bigger they get, because I'm like, oh my God, when am I going to be done with this? And I know the bigger I make them, the sooner I'm going to be finished. And if you want to make them big, that's fine, but just try and make them all relatively the same size. And that's just going to help you in the end. You're not going to have some cookies that are burning and some cookies that aren't all the way done, okay? And if you're doing a cookie walk, you don't want your neighbors to look at you askance and say, you know, I'm not sure she really knows what she's doing. Yeah, but, you know, but I will say, you know, on that topic, you know, the ones that are a little bit burned or the ones that maybe are a little bit underdone, those are the ones you get to keep, and I promise you, they're going to be delicious. So don't worry so much about, you know, are they perfect? Do they look good enough for the neighbors? Just don't worry about that. If they're neighbors you like, and I'm guessing you like them if you're going to do a cookie walk with them, you know, they're going to understand. And remember, they're not perfect either. So it's all about enjoying people during the holidays and not about making yourself crazy trying to, you know, impress everybody. Okay? Hi guys, welcome back. So our smashed sugar cookies are in the refrigerator firming up, and if you will recall, back a little while ago we did the Oreo cookie balls with the chopped up candy canes in them. And so they've been in the freezer for, I would say, about an hour and a half, a little bit more. So they should be nice and firm. So what we're going to do is we're going to melt some chocolate to dip our Oreo cookie balls into. Okay? So chocolate can be temperamental. Sometimes if you heat it up too quickly, it will seize, where it just gets really hard and grainy. And once that happens, you're not going to be able to remelt it. You can try adding things to it to sort of smooth it out, like cream or something like that. But I'll tell you, it doesn't often work very well, okay? So what we're going to do to try and mitigate the risk of our chocolate seizing up is we're going to do a double boiler method. So what I have here is a saucepan, and it's got about 1 inch of water in it. And then this is a little metal bowl that fits on top of the saucepan. See, it's got these lips, see, right here and right here, and they just rest on top of the saucepan. So it sits on top of the saucepan, and what happens is, as the water starts to simmer, it makes the bowl just warm, and you can safely melt your chocolate that way. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to melt our chocolate in a double boiler. So I'm going to turn my burner on. And I'm going to turn it on about medium, okay? And then I'm going to take my chocolate. Now this is semi-sweet chocolate. What you want to do is you want to break your chocolate up into squares and put them in here. Now for this recipe, I'm using 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. We're heating it up on medium-high heat, and then we're going to keep a pretty close eye on it. And as soon as the chocolate melts and is nice and smooth, we're going to take it off. Because if you leave it on here and it gets too hot, your chocolate's going to seize. Don't want that to happen. Okay, guys? Okay, guys, here's the chocolate after it's been on the double boiler. you can see, oops, there's my finger, I apologize. You can see how nice and smooth and silky it is. Hi guys, so now we have melted the chocolate. I have crushed some more of my candy canes because I accidentally put them all in my Oreo balls and I didn't have any left. So I crushed up some more. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Oreo cookie balls out of the freezer. They're nice and firm right now. And we're going to dip them in the melted chocolate. And then we're gonna put them back in their little papers. And we're gonna sprinkle the crushed up peppermint, the crushed up candy canes on them. So I wanna work a little fast. My chocolate is melted. It's not super warm, which is good. I don't want really hot melted chocolate hitting my just semi-frozen Oreo balls, you know. And then once we finish covering them in the melted chocolate and sprinkling the crushed up candy canes on them, we're gonna put them back in the fridge for about an hour. Okay, so the chocolate sets up nicely and you can pick them up and eat them. Okay guys, we're gonna get going with these. These are my frozen Oreo cookie balls. And I'm just taking one dozen pan out of the freezer at a time. I'm gonna let the other one sit in there, okay? So all I'm gonna do is I've got a glove so I don't get chocolate all over my person. And the only nice things about COVID is now like everybody has gloves, right? Somewhere in your house. Okay, so let's get this on. Wow. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna take this cookie out of the paper and I'm just gonna dip it in here, sort of roll it around a little bit. Shake off the excess, like so, and get it back over here, okay? It is messy, I won't lie. So I'm gonna use this hand to take the cookie balls out, okay? And I'm gonna take this hand to roll them around in the chocolate, take them off, and then back in the pan. Okay guys, so what I learned in the first go around was that the papers are really hard to get off the frozen cookies and they're very, very hard to dip. So, and the other thing I learned was when you're putting on the crushed candy canes, you have to do it when the chocolate is still wet. So what I'm gonna do this time, a little bit different, okay? I'm gonna take a pastry brush. I'm going to take a pastry brush and I'm going to paint the tops of these cookies with the chocolate. Okay, I think it's going to be neater. And the other thing I'm going to do is as I'm painting them, I'm going to sprinkle them with the candy canes. Okay, and I'm going to see if that doesn't work better. And I think it will. Okay. Because as the cameraman pointed out very rightly, these are going to be hard to pick up and eat. Okay, so let's do it like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna paint the top there. And then as I'm done with them, the pan, I'm putting it back in the freezer. So I want the chocolate to set up. And that's another thing that's gonna make it easier for people to pick it up, is once the chocolate sets up and it's not, you know, it's not gonna be so sticky and horrible. Okay, and there you have it. These are going to go back in the freezer and they're going to continue to set up. And there they are, very festive looking, yeah? So come on back and we might be tasting them. Come back. Hi, welcome back everybody. So thank God my cameraman has come back. It was very hard to do this without him. So I'm grateful to have such a talented cameraman. And I know you guys are too now that you've had to suffer through watching me make cookies all by myself. So, speaking of cookies, we have had our sugar cookies firming up in the refrigerator for about an hour. And this is what they look like. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to transfer some of the cookies over to this pan. And then we're going to bake some of the cookies on this pan, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring cookies over here. I think about 3 per row. And so cameraman, if you want to come on over, what we're going to do is I've got a glass, okay, and it has a smooth bottom. That's the important part. You want to get something that has a smooth bottom, not something that has writing on it or a price tag or anything like that. You want something nice and smooth. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your nice cold cookie in your glass and you're just going to smash them all. Let's put these over here. And you're going to smash it, okay, just like that. See? This is so much easier, guys, than trying to roll out the dough and get a cookie cutter and all that kind of stuff. This is so much easier. Okay, you can smash them to however thick or thin you want. Now, if they start to stick, you can put a little bit of flour on your glass bottom, or you can just sort of pry them off like I'm doing here. What happens is this pan is a little bit warmer, you know, so the dough is starting to get a little bit softer. That's it. Okay, there you go. And if you get these edges that are kind of cracked, that's perfectly fine. In fact, that's really good, okay? So we're going to take these cookies and we're going to put them in the oven. That's a dozen, and we're going to cook them for about 15 minutes. Okay, and in they go. And then what I'm going to do here, because we have more cookies than we want to bake at one time, is I'm going to get a bowl. Let's see, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to put these cookies back in the refrigerator. Okay. And then I'm going to smash these cookies, add some different spices. You can add cinnamon to the dough. You can add peppermint to the dough. The dough is your basic sugar cookie dough. It's just sweet and buttery and great. So I'm going to take these cookies and I'm going to put these cookies in the oven also. Okay? About 15 minutes and we'll take a peek, okay? Hi everybody, welcome back. So we did the cookies. We made 2 different kinds, and I know I said we were going to make 3.
2 is 3.
We'll make the other one later. Okay.
Many more holidays. Many more holidays.
So I want to show you our plate. So we did our cookie walk. So we have our Oreo balls right here. We have our smashed sugar cookies here. And then I put a couple of cookies that some of our neighbors made. So where do you want to start with?
Oh, you take your guess.
I'm going to start with
it's good.
the smashed sugar cookies.
So Susan made them the blue sprinkles for Hannukah.
Yeah, blue sprinkles for Hannukah. Last night was that the last night?
7th night.
Tonight's the 8th.
The candles are not lit because of the cats. It could get a little dangerous. Yeah.
Plus the rule is that you can't say is it the prayer?
I can say it, but not with the cats.
Yeah. All right. Cheers. It's good. It's a nice sugar cookie. It's a pretty basic recipe. I recommend these highly with a cup of tea or cocoa. The sugar will turn your lips and your tongue blue, as we found out last night when some of the neighbor kids ate some. But they're good. They're a good basic cookie. You can do all sorts of things with them. Decorate them different ways. If you want to make a glaze of
Really
confectioner sugar and
not
milk.
dry. They're like a nice balance.
Yeah, they're nice. They're tender.
Because sometimes cookies come out dry and burnt. These are not. Oh, I didn't notice. You did it on both sides.
All around.
The top and bottom and all around. Ooh.
Blue, baby.
It's like being in the Blue Man Group.
Exactly. Okay, so let's
Don't
try.
The freckle one we made.
Well, our second one we made, which are the Oreo balls.
Okay, I have to admit, I had 2 of these already. I hadn't tried the others. This one I had 2. They're so good. They're a little.
They're messy.
They're messy.
I would not recommend them for a cookie walk. I recommend them for when you're having people over to your house and you can keep them in the refrigerator until right before you serve them.
And if you have kids, and we know a lot of you do, just be prepared for the mess when, there's going to be chocolate everywhere. But it's so worth it. And you've got, the crushed up candy canes on top.
They're so good, guys. It's almost like a truffle. Nice.
Amazing.
Peppermint all through it. Taste that Oreo taste. I don't know if you can hear the dog crying.
She wants some underneath. No chocolate for puppies.
She wants one so bad.
No puppy chocolate.
That's really good. But messy.
But worth the mess. Even for you neat freaks. It's worth it.
Or you Felix Ungers out there.
F you. You'll get it.
Okay.
It's a family show, but that's appropriate because it's not family.
That's really good. They're rich.
Very. So instead of eating 5, maybe only eat 4.
And we're gonna wrap this up because
cats are attacking.
Slash.
It's like a slasher movie. This is a combination Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday season movie slasher movie. Claude or Lulu or both.
So any minute now, you might see a cat.
You can see blood spurting out from us. Oh my!
So anyway, that's our episode of my.
Don't forget for the holidays, adopt, don't shop, as Susan said at the beginning of the video.
And please don't even adopt a puppy now to give it to somebody else.
No gifts.
Please never give a puppy or a kitten.
No surprise. Don't surprise.
Or a ferret or a rabbit or anything. Don't give a little baby animal to anyone as a gift.
Don't surprise them.
No surprises.
Prepare everyone first.
Okay, everybody. Take care.
Happy holidays.
We're so happy you came by. And we'll see you next time on My Mom's Recipe Box.
Like and subscribe. Share. Bye-bye.
Yes, do all that stuff. Bye-bye.